Well, it's Monday, 18th of May, the year 2026. Thank you so much for making the time to be a part of tonight's edition of Diamond Live. We come to your screens every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We do nothing but give you the day's biggest news stories. My name is Andrew Mwansa.
And I'm Cheswa. Peter Kapasa, thanks a lot for joining us again. Quite many things to look out for this evening. Thanks for joining us.
My name is Chimweka, Chileshe. Indeed, it's been quite the day, gentlemen. Quite a lot that has happened during the course of today. Obviously, a lot to do with adoptions and people withdrawing from the races at different levels, whether it's presidential, but also parliamentary. I think we've seen quite a lot from the parliamentary end. But I think quite a lot has been seen from today, and even just from the Electoral Commission of Zambia, who have now started, receiving different documents from those aspiring to be Republican presidents. So, I mean, what an interesting Monday it's been, and you can only imagine what will happen by the time it's Friday.
A quite interesting day. It started in the morning. Obviously, today is a very special day in the country's democracy because political parties and independent candidates were expected to file in their nomination for the position of presidency, and it commenced today. In fact, the rest of State House commenced today. And I think we saw the drama that happened at the Mulungushi International Conference Center from the commission delaying in processing the documents delayed in commencing the entire process, to the first candidate who was being processed, being ineligible, to his reaction, to what follows, is what really took most of the day. But like always, let's begin off the day with today in a snap. Former Matera Member of Parliament has announced that the Patriotic Front will not put forward a presidential candidate in the 2026 general elections. Speaking at a press briefing this evening, Mr. Sampa said the party needs time to rebuild after losing power in 2021 and should avoid rushing back into government. Sampa argued that the PF's main error after the 2021 defeat was focusing too quickly on reclaiming state power. He cited the Movement for Multi-Party Democracy failed attempt to return in 2026 after losing in 2011 and UNIP's decline following the 1991 as examples of what happens when parties ignore internal rebuilding. He said parties that lose office often face division and instability when they prioritize an immediate comeback. This is a briefing that Mr. Sampa had, and we'll talk about it on the other side.
To be part of making sure that we do things differently and tactfully. And with that, I want to announce, after consultation with various key stakeholders within the party, I have very key stakeholders who I respect, and they are very senior in the party. And after those consultations, and also my personal belief, and also key members of the Central Committee I've already consulted with, I want to officially announce that the Patriotic Front will not participate on the presidential ticket for 2026. So the PF will not field a candidate. So the PF will not sponsor a presidential candidate. I want to repeat, for the August 2026 election, the PF will not sponsor a presidential candidate. The PF will not field a presidential candidate, just so to give us room to rebuild the party and start afresh. When you fall from there, you don't start from there. You start low and build up. The building of the PF is a long-term project. It's it should have been a 10-year, 20-year project from 2021 after we lost, but it was short-termed. We wanted results immediately until this next election. With hindsight, we are making the PF a 10-year project to rebuild from ashes of losing in 2021 and rebuild. We'll possibly look at 2031 for the presidential ticket. The question is, what will you do? We'll look at how we participate, and potentially, possibly we'll look at participating as MPs, as members of parliament in selected constituencies, and also as councillors, from MP to councillor. We could participate in certain selected constituencies. To what extent will we endorse anyone? Today, no. We are not endorsing any presidential candidate as PF. Maybe in due course. Will be to the determination of the central committees and of the PF and key stakeholders of the PF, trustees and senior members of the PF, so to speak. That's where we are, and if we do endorse, that will be after thorough consultations amongst key stakeholders, and that will be in due course. It will not be tonight, it will not be tomorrow. Possibly will not even be till nominations are closed. But at some point we could do it, or we could just concentrate on those MPs and councillors and mayors and council chairperson that will field. So that was the purpose of this press conference, is essentially to state that the PF...
What happened this evening, a few minutes ago, Mwansa announcing that the Patriotic Front has withdrawn from participating in the presidential race. He further on mentions that the PF will participate at other levels of governance. They'll field in members of parliament, mayors and councillors in other areas. But I think truth must be told in this situation. Personally, from my own analysis, I feel that the only reason for why Mwansa has withdrawn at this minute, the last hour actually, is for very simple and basic reasons. All right? When you go to the Registrar of Societies, the documentation of the original owner of the Patriotic Front as we speak tonight is Robert Chawinga. And the Secretary General, who is recognized by the Registrar of Societies, is Ngona. What's his first name again?
Morgan
Ngona. One of the requirements that the Electoral Commission of Zambia needs for you to successfully file in your nomination is that you must carry an adoption certificate signed by the party president and the party secretary general. The PF paid the nomination fee and subsequently managed to put up the 100 supporters across the country. But the challenge the PF have is the adoption certificate. And at the moment, Mwansa can't sign an adoption certificate with Mr. Ngona because it is Mr. Chawinga who has the powers at the moment to give anyone the PF presidential adoption certificate. That's what the biggest problem is.
But here's the other argument that's there, Andrew. And even I listened to Mr. Mwansa's press briefing that happened earlier. And one thing he keeps on reiterating, even during the conversation we had with him live on the show when we hosted it the other week, one thing he keeps reiterating is that legally he's the president of the party. And even you look at court documents, what is being cited there, even by the courts, is him as president and Mr. Morgan Ngona as Secretary General of the party. So he keeps emphasizing and reiterating that he is legally the president of the party, and probably why he's been feeling that he has the powers to make some of these decisions. But like we've been able to see, and it's been quite clear, the issue now also stands in the fact that you have Mr. Mwansa as Secretary General. In the same way he's saying he's a legal president, legally the Secretary General is Mr. Mwansa, and as it stands, we know that the two are not on the same page, and I think that's what also presents a whole different situation for the Patriotic Front at the moment.
I had the returning officer, not the returning officer. I had the public relations manager from the public relations manager. What's her name?
Corporate affairs manager.
Corporate affairs. That's her name. What's her name?
Patricia Luhanga.
People forgetting names today.
She was. I think we've got too many names.
What's your name? What's your name, Mr. Kapasa?
We will have to be remembering all the candidates, in the presidential race, all the members of parliament and all the councillors,
public relation managers,
and so on. But she was telling us just when I was doing the news a few minutes ago that you've got Chileshe coming to file in as on the PF ticket.
Well,
and Mao Sampa is telling us something else. So I'm thinking Chileshe will be filing in nominations.
It's going to be interesting to see if Chileshe
and
goes
the
ahead.
President of the party is telling us that they're not fielding a candidate. So what's going on?
It's going to be interesting to see. That's interesting. I should have missed that part of the news. But if that's true,
that's the announcement. The announcement was made by the corporate affairs manager that Dr. Chileshe will be
probably she was
tomorrow on the list.
Probably she's making a reference to the timetable. The calendar shows that those are the political parties. So moving by the calendar, yes, the PF must make their submissions of the nomination tomorrow. Right? But the Mr. Mao Sampa has clearly said that the Patriotic Front will not participate. And in my own thinking, I'm thinking this is a collective decision that collectively the party has made. But we know that yes, Chimweka, you are right to have stated that Mr. Mao Sampa has on several occasions mentioned that he's legally the party president. But remember that we haven't reconciled the two by the change in names at the Registrar of Societies, because the Registrar of Society documents show that Robert Chavinga is still party president of the Patriotic Front. Yes, the court judgment that was rendered a few weeks ago did highlight the fact that Mr. Mao Sampa remains party president as of the convention that happened on the 24th of October 2023. All right, but the judgment and what's at the Registrar of Societies have not reconciled yet. All right, and so that's what I was saying. The only way that Chileshe could file in tomorrow is if they've cracked a deal with Robert Chavinga and Morgan Ngona that you must proceed. But the danger that has is this: Robert Chavinga has endorsed President Hakainde Hichilema ahead of the election. So it will be interesting to see someone who is endorsed President Hakainde Hichilema going ahead to give an adoption certificate to an opposition candidate who is opposing President Hakainde Hichilema. Then that becomes, something else. And so it's going to be interesting to see the dynamics of, what happens, tomorrow, because the rules are very simple. All right, if you don't produce an adoption certificate signed by the party president and the party secretary general, then you'd have failed the test.
I think the issue around the Patriotic Front has been, I think people have been paying attention and seeing what's been going on for the last couple of months, years even. I mean, this, I think, started being seen more and more from that convention that happened in 2023 with Mr. Mao Sampa, the extraordinary convention that took place. And I think a lot of people anticipated this eventually getting to happen. And one person who has who is also understanding the current position of the Patriotic Front, despite his activity in politics and him being a long-standing member of the party, is Dr. Chimweka. Earlier today, we also saw that he has officially endorsed the Citizens First president, Mr. Harry Kalaba, because he looks at the issues of the eligibility. What is being required by the Electoral Commission of Zambia and the eligibility of the different candidates and those who wish to contest at whatever levels. He has looked at what the situation is. And this is a man, by the way, who had also made his intentions known that he wants to be president of the Patriotic Front. But from what it looks like now, he's come to terms with the situation at hand. That this right now, it's quite difficult for a number of political parties, not just the Patriotic Front, but this may also happen to the different political parties from his anticipation. Interesting enough, tomorrow we are expecting to see more aspiring presidential candidates get to file in their nominations. We're expecting Mr. Harry Calabar to be able to do so, Mr. Brian Mundubile. And there's been a lot of talk around what will happen, how eligible are these aspiring candidates. And the issue around even the eligibility is meeting all the requirements. And this may not just be from a personal level as an aspiring candidate, but also the party you belong to. Like we've been talking about, the issue of the party president, issues around the Secretary General, issues of even a convention being held, meeting all these requirements. It would be interesting to see how this will also go for the other political parties.
Don't forget that Brian Mundubile tomorrow will have to submit fresh supporters, 1,000 of them at a go, because he has changed his special purpose vehicle. The political party was FDD, now changing to the New Restoration Party. And, also another interesting turn of events of what we may see there. Will he manage to garner the 1,000 supporters at a go? And as he files in those nominations, that's also something that we're yet to see.
I believe he will. But speaking about eligibility...
You believe in who?
Yeah, I'm saying I believe he will manage to garner the 1,000 supporters because they're not a lot. It's just 100 from each province. But speaking about eligibility...
Well, the others that have not managed. So why do you have so much confidence in Brian Mundubile? Yeah, because you can't just say he will manage to bring the 1,000 supporters. It's just not magic.
So,
people have failed to bring 1,000 supporters. People have failed to bring 100.
Who has failed to bring 1,000 supporters?
Well, Mr. Enoch Tonga didn't manage to get the 1,000 supporters.
No, it's about 2 provinces, but he managed.
But he didn't manage the 1,000.
Yeah. So
he actually asked for more time.
And actually, in fact, one of them was...
And he's not the only one. There were a number of them who didn't manage.
Yeah,
but I think looking at the political fortitude of these other candidates you're mentioning, compared to him, I think it's a circus to ask that question, Mr. Kapasa. But, gentlemen, speaking about eligibility and the criteria being used to manage to successfully file in. Today, Charles Chanda of the UPPZ had his nomination rejected by the Commission. So the Electoral Commission of Zambia Chairperson Mwangala Zolomis rejected the nomination filing means of United Prosperous and Peaceful Zambia presidential candidate Charles Chanda on the basis that he is bankrupt and his adoption certificate does not have the name of the party Secretary General. Let's look at what happened early on to that Mlangushi.
The beans. Why ECZ has rejected me? Because this is absolute nonsense. I have been approached by UPND not to stand for the elections, and because I have gone ahead, this is why they have done this. So don't worry. This battle is not yet over. Thank you. Cut your cameras. Let's go. Thank you. Let's go. Don't worry.
There is quite interesting unfolding of events there since morning. Mr. Chanda, I think, was the earliest to come before the Electoral Commission of Zambia, but unfortunately his credentials have been scrutinized and it has been found that he is ineligible to stand or to contest in the upcoming elections in the country. Two reasons have been stated: that he has not been discharged in terms of bankruptcy, as well as him having a certificate that has not been signed by the Secretary General of the party.
Yes, Victoria, the returning officer of the Electoral Commission of Zambia, Ms. Mwangala Zalomis, did take time to explain why the UPPZ president, Mr. Charles Chanda, is ineligible to contest this year's election. But he continued, to argue, and right now we just want to continue addressing the press, and we'll give him that opportunity.
Indeed.
Okay, don't worry. Fellow countrymen and women, I've got good news for you. What you see here, these are court documents, and I'm expecting the Republican president, through the ECZ, to respect the rule of law. Yes. I've been to court. I have fought the bankruptcy, which was started by PF. PF wanted me to be bankrupt so that I don't stand in 2021. And this is what UPND has done. But look, I have fought the matter. The matter is in court. How can you say I can't stand when the matter is in court? This is Bush law, and we won't accept it in this country. This country is our own country. You can look. Here is the adoption certificate. Can you see here? Here is Majaliso Msukwa. Go to Registrar of Society. He is the Secretary General. Here is Charles Chanda. That's the president in ECZ at Registrar of Society. And then you disqualify me when I've got evidence. You keep us for 2 hours there. Now, listen, don't worry. You can disqualify me as presidential candidate, but I have support in this country. The last by-election, UPND got 42%, I got 36%. So if UPND disqualifies me because they are afraid, I know where I would.
Gentlemen, that is UPPZ President Charles Chanda expressing displeasure at the fact that he has been declared ineligible to contest the elections. And the reasons have been very simple, been laid out by the Electoral Commission of Zambia chairperson, Madam Mwangala Zalomis, that the adoption certificate. Yes, Andrew. Before we speak about, we are now privileged to be joined in by Dr. Chileshe. We have called him to really get an understanding on whether he is going to proceed tomorrow to file in his nomination. Dr. Chileshe, thank you so much for joining us on Diamond Live tonight. Good evening.
Good evening.
Doc, just a few minutes ago, we had a press briefing by Mr. Mwansa, president of the Patriotic Front. In the press briefing, Mr. Sampa says that the Patriotic Front has withdrawn from participating at presidential level in this year's elections. Would you confirm from your end as presidential candidate on the PF ticket that this is indeed true?
Well, thanks, Andrew, and good evening, viewers. I have not withdrawn from the presidential race, and details shall follow in due course.
Doc, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, I was trying to call Dr. Chileshe. He says that he hasn't withdrawn. He's going tomorrow.
And we have no further questions, but to wait up until tomorrow.
And he says it's still going ahead. So definitely we'll have to obviously see and monitor how this goes because he still needs that backing from the party president and secretary general. So this is what will make it quite interesting. He says he's not withdrawn from the race. Because that could also mean perhaps he's got plan B.
Maybe it's got plan B. Maybe a Koma Sampa has got here. I'm just from calling Dr. Chileshe, who says that he's going ahead to participate in the elections. Maybe let me try to call Honorable Mwansa live on air, see if he will understand the position by Dr. Chileshe that is proceeding to participate in these elections. I'm trying to call Honorable Mwansa. Hope he does respond to the call if he's not busy. Yeah, but gentlemen, before Honorable Mwansa answers this call, what then happens, to Honorable Dr. Chileshe? Because the person who could legally give him the adoption certificate is Robert Chabinga.
Well, I think that's really going to be interesting to see, Andrew. I mean, those are very important questions you ask. We could only be limited to analyzing what we already know, that this is a position that Honorable Mwansa is giving. On the other hand, what we know is that the Registrar of Societies is only recognizing certain individuals who are office bearers, among them Honorable Chabinga. I haven't heard Honorable Chabinga speak much about the nomination process and what will then follow, because it will also be interesting to sort of get his view as well as we wait for Dr. Chileshe to submit his nomination tomorrow. So it'll be very interesting to see what dynamics will really roll out. This week really will be busy at the Mlungushi Conference Center. Of course, President Hakainde Hichilema is also expected to file in his nomination. A lot of speculation around running mates and so on. So let's see what this week will really look like.
And yes, we would like to hear from you as well. You can remember to contribute by leaving a comment in the comment section. Diamond TV Online is where we're streaming live, and the phone line is on your screen, so you can give us a call to give us your thoughts on some of the events from today. And one of the stories we're taking a look at is around the Patriotic Front. We heard from Mr. Mwansa announcing that the Patriotic Front has withdrawn and will not take part in the race at the presidential level. So I'd like to get your thoughts around that, especially for those who have been still optimistic that the Patriotic Front, in its current form, will be able to participate, regardless of everything else that has taken place leading up to this particular point in building up to the general election in August. So it would be good to also hear from you as you give us a call using the lines on your screen.
Sorry for that, gentlemen. We have compiled requirements for a candidate to run as president. And so here, look at your screen for the requirements for a presidential candidate. Those that are going to submit tomorrow their nominations, they must have the following, qualifications before their nominations are, duly gotten and duly considered as being successful. So if we could have the requirements for a presidential candidate on the screen. Obviously, part of them, Cheswa and Chimweka, is the fact that, and this is according to the Electoral Act, that the adoption, certificate must be signed by both the Secretary General and the President of a political party. Let's quickly get to some of the requirements that a presidential candidate must submit to the Electoral Commission of Zambia.
Well, what we also see here is, of course, the nomination form. And from the nomination form, so this stipulates that a candidate must submit a duly completed nomination form, which is accompanied by a receipt as proof of payment of the prescribed election fee, which must be paid personally by the presidential candidate. Also, there's support from at least 100 registered voters from each province of Zambia. So each province has had the provincial centers, and we saw the pre-processing that was taking place during the course of last week, where the 100 registered voters were being taken to the provincial centers. What we also get to see is the presidential aspirants demonstrating nationwide support through this particular process of having the 100 supporters across the country, making 1,000. I saw some people also asking a lot of questions around that and the reason for that. But what is expected is that the aspirant should be of national character, so that definitely is required. For more of the requirements, there's the affidavit of qualification. So the candidate must provide an affidavit sworn before a commissioner for oaths, declaring that they are qualified to contest as president. So we're seeing documents also being flashed by some of the candidates who were making their way before the Electoral Commission of Zambia. The National Registration Card, the NRC, this is our national ID, and the candidate must provide the original NRC, a certified copy of the NRC. Of course, this is speaking into identity and proving that one is a Zambian citizen. So that is one of the requirements. More of the requirements, a voter's card. So the aspiring candidate must also submit the original voter's card, a certified copy confirming that the candidate is a registered voter. At least if you're going to vote, you have to vote for yourself, right? So at least you are guaranteed of a vote from yourself and not a complete zero. Grade 12 certificate or equivalent. This is also a key one here. Candidates required to submit a grade 12 certificate or equivalent qualification. The certificate must be verified by the ECZ, in this case the ECZ being the Examinations Council of Zambia. For the foreign equivalent qualifications, they need to be assessed by the Zambia Qualifications Authority. So this needs to be done as well. More of the requirements, declaration of assets and liabilities. So they must file a statutory declaration of their assets and liabilities together with a typed statement detailing their financial standing. So this was quite the topical one from today with Mr. Charles Chanda. Another expectation from the Electoral Commission of Zambia for the candidates is a tax clearance certificate. So a candidate must submit a valid tax clearance certificate or proof that satisfactory arrangements have been made with the relevant tax authority for payment of taxes.
Very important.
That's why it's very important to be tax compliant as a Zambian citizen, especially if you never know, maybe your interest could come along the way if you intend to be Republican president. Declaration of compliance with the Electoral Code of Conduct. So the candidates are also expected to sign a declaration committing themselves to observing the Electoral Code of Conduct during campaigns and the election period. The adoption certificate. This is also another key one, where candidates contesting under a political party must provide an adoption certificate from that political party. So the political party needs to confirm that they are fielding you as a candidate and you have the blessing of that party.
It's a question we're asking, does Dr. Chileshe have that adoption certificate with him as he goes to filing tomorrow?
The declaration of compliance with the Electoral Code of Conduct. So we did talk about the them getting to observe this and how important it is going into the campaign period. So we did look at this particular requirement, but more from the requirements, the documents that need to be presented, submitted by the aspiring presidential candidates. A passport-sized photograph. So the candidate must provide a photograph measuring 32 by 25 millimeters on a clear and uniform background to make sure this happens, and submitted to the Electoral Commission of Zambia as a requirement. So the Constitution in Article 100 gets to ask all these questions here. Are you a citizen by birth or by descent? Have you been ordinarily a resident in Zambia? Are you at least 35 years old? Are you a registered voter? Do you possess a grade 12 certificate or equivalent? Are you fluent in the official language? How fluent are you? Now known as the King's language, right? Have you paid taxes or made satisfactory arrangements to pay them? And the declaration of assets and liabilities.
Just imagine if Andrew Mwansa was a presidential candidate, I would disqualify him just before he enters Mulungushi Conference Center.
For what reason?
Do you pay taxes?
Well, the Zambia Revenue Authority is watching, and maybe
you're not 35 years old. Just by that, you are disqualified.
So, but I pay taxes. So
just by your age, you wouldn't qualify as a presidential candidate.
But by your age, do you qualify?
Are you fluent in the official language, Mr. Andrew Mwansa?
Maybe that, yes. I'll be disqualified from that.
And of course, the 100 registered voters. So what we got to see was pretty much a summary of this Article 100 of the Zambian Constitution on those aspiring to be Republican president of Zambia. So,
and the election fee, which is 100,000
kwacha, which has to be paid, and we've seen the candidates who've been able to successfully do that. So during the course of this week, these are the requirements that the aspirants need to meet. And in terms of the importance, as we take a look at that particular slide of why this process actually matters, if Derek could just bring that back for us on screen, looking at the importance of it, it's to ensure that candidates who meet constitutional requirements, that they don't only that only candidates, who meet constitutional requirements and demonstrate national support are allowed to contest for the presidency. And that's why also people have been talking about how much seriousness needs to be attached to this particular process. We saw a number of people are actually quite disappointed that you have certain candidates who are not able to meet one of the requirements, being the 100 supporters per provincial center. And we're seeing how some aspirants were struggling to do that, and these are people who want to contest for Republican president and are able to prove that they have that national character by bringing these people together. So that was a key one. In fact, having talked to some stakeholders during the course of last week, others even were suggesting that perhaps going forward, maybe what could be done is for the nomination fees to be reduced, so that you have more people being able to contest. And
as presidents?
As president, and maybe after reducing the amount, increase the number of supporters that need to be presented before a provincial center, because the ability to have a national character should stand stronger, and also to deter certain people from what others would call wasting other people's time.
But I think one of the things that I've been able to realize the last couple of days is people don't really have an issue with paying the 100,000 kwacha.
Well, concerns were raised when it was announced by the Electoral Commission of Zambia. We heard some stakeholders raise concerns.
Funny enough, colleagues, I think raising the 100 supporters seems to be a challenge, because if someone with national, one of the constitutional requirements there, like you say, is one that must have national support. I also believe that perhaps even going forward, to see serious people on the ballot, push it to 500 supporters per province.
The province. Gentlemen, speaking about pushing to 500 supporters and meeting the constitutional requirement, Movement for Economic Emancipation leader Given Chance is the only one that has managed to successfully file in his nomination as presidential candidate. This is what we're going to be talking about. But also earlier on, we did see Mr. Chileshe boast of the fact that he's a rich man. He's got 4 billion in his account. Why must he be declared bankrupt? We take a break for now.
Today,
start big with Victory Cornflakes.
Victory Cornflakes.
The end of your journey will be big. Stay on your feet, chase to achieve. Give it your all and just believe that it's gonna be big when you start big. Victory Cornflakes. Start big today. Victory Cornflakes. Remember to always keep it. Do it in whatever you do. Keep it in whatever you do.
Today, the best maize grain Zambia has to offer are perfectly toasted into golden flakes that pack a big crunch. Today, start big with Big Tree Cornflakes.
Meet Lucy, a dedicated professional. Her days are filled with meetings and deadlines, but there is one thing on her mind: getting motor insurance for her brand new car.
But I need to get my insurance done though.
As Lucy begins her car journey, excitement fills the air. But she knows there is something crucial missing: safety and protection. The fear of being pulled over by traffic police looms over Lucy. She dreads the complicated and time-consuming process of getting insurance. Will she find a solution? Enters MGen on my WhatsApp. Just a chat away, this service transforms the way you buy motor insurance. It's not just efficient, it's also extremely convenient. With MGen on my WhatsApp, Lucy can now focus on what truly matters: her journey, her ambition. Insurance simplified. Text HI to MGen on my WhatsApp to easily buy, renew, or validate your insurance. When it's worth it, it's worth talking about.
Pascal's showing his boss the efficient new technology they've installed. She is pleased, but now she's asking, why is that still there? Pascal explains that the wells can store many, many messages. The boss is not so pleased anymore. If you haven't upgraded your contact center yet, it's time to get business done better with MTN Business.
Zizzy is 1, 2, 3, and all my clothes are squeaky clean.
Quick to remove the dirt and stains and the fresh fragrance remains.
Never seen nothing like it. That's exactly why I like it.
So whether color white or black, it brings a new right back.
thank you so much for still staying with us. We are now privileged to be joined in on a phone call by the Patriotic Front President, Honorable Robert Chabinga is joining us virtually on call. Honorable Chabinga, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us on Diamond Live. You're live on air.
Good evening, Andrew. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. I hope you're doing well, Honorable.
No, I'm very well, thank you. And it's just the mood of this campaign mood, and I think we are geared.
Fantastic. Honorable, sorry for calling you at gunpoint on air, live on air, but we wanted to find out something very fundamental and very important. Earlier on, we had Honorable Mao Sampa, who had a press briefing. In the press briefing, Honorable Sampa mentioned that the PF are withdrawn from participating in this election at presidential level. Then later on, we called Dr. Chileshe, who is a presidential candidate that was advanced to the commission. We asked him whether he's going to proceed to filing his nomination, and the response he gave us was that yes, he's filing in tomorrow as PF presidential candidate. Are you aware of these happenings within the Patriotic Front, and do you endorse that Dr. Chileshe goes ahead to filing his nomination?
First and foremost, Andrew, thank you very much. I think it is very important that you called me at this particular time to make people understand the situation and the current happenings in the Patriot Front, which have not started now. They have been there in a while, but the problem has been misleading, and by our fellow political players, misleading the nation using the social media by not telling the truth and the status quo of the matters in court. And that is the first, that's what I want to state. Number one, the first matter which was ruled that the convention for 2023 of October was legal, and was legally so, and therefore all decisions that were made after that convention were in order. Now, what were those decisions? The decisions that were made was that Mr. Mao Sampa was elected as president. And the Secretary General. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
We can hear you, Honorable. We can hear you.
Yes. So the Secretary General, Mr. Morgan, appointed by the Central Committee. And so on and so forth. Yeah. So after that, Mr. Mao Sampa misbehaved. When Mr. Mao Sampa misbehaved, he fired Mr. Morgan Ngona without ratification by the Central Committee. He went on to dissolve the Central Committee without dissolving himself. So when he was making those funny decisions, and he went on to remove and fire the leader of opposition who was ratified by the Central Committee. Therefore, there was an injunction that was collected by Honorable Ngona. And Mr. Ngona, when he obtained that, was granted to avoid our brother, Mr. Sampa, to continue making decisions by himself. In addition to that, the Central Committee, when it sat, it made the decisions. The decisions that were made were, number one, Mr. Mao Sampa was expelled from the Patriotic Front. And if you follow the records very straight, up to date, Mr. Mao Sampa never took that matter to court. Not at all. He never contended that matter. Now, in addition to that, it's that Central Committee that reinstated Mr. Morgan in order to continue. It's that Central Committee that reinstated the leader of opposition then in me. It is that Central Committee that made Honorable Chabinga Robert to be the acting president of the party in the meantime. And Mr. Mao Sampa never contended that matter at all. And it is that Central Committee when we sat, maybe changes to the Registrar of Societies, that Central Committee. They did an application in July, and it was approved by around November, thereabout. That's when it was. That's when it was approved. So, Mr. Mwansa, if you check even on Registrar of Societies, they've been fighting this and that, back and forth, but they're not looking at they've not been looking at the main matter. Even the matters that they've been trying to take the matters to court. For example, the one they've been saying the SG Secretary General lost even an appeal. That appeal was based at that particular time when the Secretary General, Mr. Ngona, wanted to prosecute the matter in court, which has nothing to do with whatsoever. If I wanted, I would have even removed that. I would have changed the Secretary General. It had nothing to do with the presidency of the Patriotic Front, which I continued remaining in charge. And now, coming to answer your question, I wanted to give you the background so that the Zambian people must understand the real issues. I have not gone to social media to claim just for the sake of claiming at all. The idea is telling about the real issues. That's why Mr. Mwansa is not on the list of Registrar of Societies. That's why. And you cannot just go abrupt to Registrar of Societies to say we are changing. Not at all. So because they've been misleading the people of this country to say they are in charge, no, we are doing what? Because they want to appease their funders. Now, I said it. Lies, Andrew, lies have short legs. Lies have short legs. You can lie today, but it will catch up with you. I have been insulted. They have mentioned all sorts of names about myself. The truth of the matter is that when we looked at these confusions, we said we are going to go with the UPND and President Hakainde Hichilema because there's too much confusion. Yeah. Remember, I had members of parliament, over 42, that believed in me, and I could not just let their political career just come to diminish like that. We remained 56 members of parliament, and when you see people are moving, I'll ask you yourself, Andrew, you have been covering these people. Tell me how many members of parliament have been following Honorable Brian Mundubire? How many members of parliament have been following Honorable Makeb Zulu? And how many members of parliament have been following Honorable Sampa? It is for you and the Zambian people to judge. And how many people have been following me, whom have said, look, for the sake of the Zambian people and development of this country, there must be continuity. And that continuity is to make sure that we do an alliance for better arrangement. And for us, we chose, our colleagues have chosen Umozi, whatever, others have chosen PA, we hear they were in FDD, now they've changed, they've gone to the other. So who is the confused person between them and Chavinga? The answer is no. So for Honorable Dr. Chileshe, to answer your question,
yeah, sorry, just on the just on that.
We have written to ECZ.
Yes.
We have written what I've told you. I've written to Electoral Commission of Zambia that we are not adopting anybody outside the alliance of the UPND. Or what I can say, as they're going there tomorrow, wishing them all the best. As PF, we are not adopting anybody under the Patriotic Front. I am the sole signatory, and Mr. Morgan Ngona. We are the only two of us who can sign for the certificates as things stands. So wishing them all the best tomorrow as they are claiming. And they would have told the nation to say, we have withdrawn from the race. It's not about withdrawing from the race. It is because they lost the matter this evening. As we have not posted, they lost the matter on the technicalities as well. But when they win, they would have been all over. When they lose, they go quiet and they want to mislead the people. They should not say that they have withdrawn from race. They don't have the powers and to sign for anybody. We have clearly indicated ourselves.
Mr. Chimweka, still on that and contesting the August 2026 elections, are you going to contest at parliamentary level, considering your endorsement of President Hakainde Hichilema? At parliamentary level, what gets to happen? What's the way forward for you as Mr. Robert Chavinga?
No, for me, as Mr. Robert Chavinga, first and foremost, I'm the person that is hyper in positions. I'm going back. The people of Mafinga, remember Mafinga, because Mafinga went for delimitation. There's Mafinga North and Mafinga South. I want to tell you that under the alliance have been adopted by UPND, and I'm standing on UPND ticket in Mafringa South. I'm the sole candidate for that. And as I'm talking to you right now, I'm holding the certificate of adoption so that to avoid the situation under the alliance. That's the SPV.
But how does it?
Confusion. Done.
So
Yes.
so you maintain being president of the Patriotic Front, but contesting on the UPND ticket.
Because that is the vehicle we are using ourselves to avoid the confusion, which we are still in court. So I cannot continue holding on to the issues when we are still in court. Not until the matters are exhaustively finished in court, and then we can revert back to our normal situation. But for the purposes of the development and contribution to the Zambian people, look at how many my members of parliament. I want to say actually thank you to the UPND government and the team and the alliance partners for considering most of the members of parliament who were PF, who believed in us and worked together for developmental programs. So most of them have been adopted.
So have you considered at any point, because like you mentioned, there's a number of members of parliament who've officially joined and made it known that they're part of the UPND now, so we've seen that there are a number of members of parliament who have officially, endorsed President Hakainde Hichilema and made their intentions known that they want to join the UPND, others successfully joining the UPND. But have you put into consideration perhaps joining the UPND in full time and letting go of the Patriotic Front? Why do you still want to hold on to the presidency of the Patriotic Front while you are in the
political
UPND?
party my brother, the political party is a club, and the owners of the clubs makes decisions. So it's a club, and the owners of the club makes decisions. It is our club, and we have made the decisions. So we have made the decisions to do what we have done. That other thing we'll come and discuss, which I'll sort out later in the near future. But for now, we need to talk about development agendas of the country, other than just going back and forth in courts. So my stance is that, and unfortunately, I've said it's a club, and we are the owners of the club that makes the decision at any given time. That's how politics is. If you don't follow if you can't join the club, if you cannot follow the rules of the club, go and join another club, or the owners of the club, they'll kick you out. Very simple and straightforward.
So
that's how it operates.
So as we speak now, Chubbs International is president of PF.
I'm in charge, my friend. With Rubalo, and I'm the one who can sign. If you are standing today, I can sign for you. But unfortunately, we are still in court. I don't work in what, but I can tell you, I can sign for you with Mr. Morgan Ingona. They are the only ones in charge.
Honorable Robert
Go and get the printout. Go and get the printout at registrar societies. So those who are going tomorrow, if I were them, I would just say make a plan B, like the other colleagues. They have used the wisdom by following. If they are rejected by another political party, they go to look for another vehicle. So if also that vehicle has a problem with a crankshaft, they change. They need to look for another vehicle which has got better suspension, and so on and so forth. That's it.
Honorable Chabinga, Mafinga, Member of Parliament, congratulations for being adopted on the UPND ticket, and all the best ahead of the elections.
Thank you so much, and I'm winning landslide. That I can tell you, winning by landslide. I'm not a joker. So my people, they believe in me. It's only social media where they think that I don't work. As we work quietly, we don't talk, because we are taught to keep quiet. When you are working, you are talking. You want to achieve what you want to achieve.
Honorable, thanks.
Thank you very much for the call.
All the best. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
I can see it's raining phone calls on.
I actually thought he was about to say you can't talk with food in your mouth. I thought that's what he's going to say, because you're talking about a saying that people make that you don't talk.
Well, he's advising Honorable Chileshe to think twice about going to submit his nomination papers tomorrow. But Honorable Chileshe says he's going ahead. And, well, we will be giving you live updates tomorrow at the Mlungushi International Conference Center with what will unfold, which candidates will manage to successfully submit their nominations. That is a question that will be answered just in a matter of hours to go.
Well, gentlemen, that's our discussion with Robert Chabinga, So interesting, because I was thinking that if Mao Sampa says is withdrawn and Dr. Chitalo Chilufya says is going to go ahead, I thought there was a deal that was cracked between Chabinga and Honorable Chitalo Chilufya, but it seems there's no deal at all. And it seems shocked that this is a position that Dr. Chitalo Chilufya has held. And so it's interesting, colleagues, to see what will happen tomorrow.
Well, it's going to be an interesting day indeed. And as Diamond TV, we'll be giving you all the live updates, everything you need to know as we build up to the 13th of August 2026. We're in the 100 days period. Today is day 87, well, which is coming to an end. We'll be getting into day 86 before the general elections. And this particular week, the Electoral Commission of Zambia is receiving the nominations at presidential level ahead of the campaigns that will be happening, which officially start this week, Saturday. So this is happening quite timely. Now, speaking of the campaigns, obviously a lot is expected starting this Saturday, because what we're already seeing as of today, and this has also been a big story from today, is the adoptions that have been going on, particularly for the ruling party, the UPND. There's been quite the anticipation, quite the build-up from the aspiring members of parliament, and also looking at the general public. Actually, I've also been looking forward to seeing who exactly will be adopted on the ruling party ticket. I think this year's primaries for the UPND were quite special in the sense that they opened it up even to ordinary members of the public. Even if you are not a member of the UPND, you're able to participate and give your take on who you think will be a good candidate under the ruling party. And we saw that a lot of incumbent members of parliament, or a number of incumbent members of parliament, did not do well in the primaries in the respective constituencies or in the constituencies that they were intending to contest in. And not so long after, we've seen how a number of these members of parliament, when I said incumbent, well, as of before Friday last week, because parliament dissolved on Friday. But what we saw is a number of them withdrawing. We've seen the likes of now the immediate past member of parliament, Mr. Rodney Skumba, the likes of Mr. Mlambo Haimbe, and even those who had expressed intention to contest, taking a seat back. And we've seen some of them who've been adopted so far, and announcements being made. For example, for Livingston Central, the announcement has already been made. Dylan Mayanga being adopted. I think what was also a surprise to many people is Mr. Jack Mwimbu still contesting this year, despite being in the National Assembly for over 20 years. And he will be contesting in the newly formed Monze East constituency. And he took time to thank President Hakainde Hichilema for the confidence in him and the party's confidence in him. In Lusaka, we've seen that Lusaka Central, Mr. Mlambo Haimbe, withdrawing from the race, and him getting to endorse Msaiwale Mlewa, who had also expressed intent to be member of parliament in 2021, but was not adopted, but still rallied behind the party. So we're seeing quite a lot in terms of the adoptions that are going on across the country, and it seems that it's keeping people on their toes, especially for those who have been wanting to be members of parliament. In Kabwata also, we've gotten to see that we saw people like Mr. Clement Tembo essentially move from the Patriotic Front to join the UPND, probably with hopes of being adopted, but it looks like it's going to be quite interesting for especially those who made those defections from the PF to the UPND with hope that they might be adopted. And if they don't get adopted, what will happen next? Will they be able to go as independent, which has been heavily discouraged by the ruling party? They've heavily discouraged people from going independent. On the other end, we've also seen that just a few minutes ago, we saw that Mr. Sean Tembo, who is the running mate for the Patriots for Economic Progress, stating that those who have not been adopted by the ruling UPND can always still contest, but under the PEP ticket.
Well, I think it's simple. Most of them that defected to the UPND will be adopted on the UPND ticket. and it's for obvious reasons.
Well, some already we're seeing some who are being left out.
For members of parliament.
For members of parliament.
I said many of them will be adopted on the UPND ticket. Those that expressed support for President Hakainde Hichilema were already seen. Mafinga, member of parliament, is one of them. Bwana Mkubwa, independent member of parliament. Honorable Mwambazi has been adopted on the UPND ticket. And Ron, independent member of parliament, has been adopted on the UPND ticket. So technically, most of the people that supported UPND, who are members of parliament of the PF, and I think perhaps the deal was defect and an exchange for an adoption certificate. For me, that's the sense that it's given.
Well, it looks like Kabata has got a different situation.
Kabata, we had a UPND member of parliament, Tayengwa. We didn't have a PF MP.
But you mean the ones that were members of parliament?
Yes,
okay.
Okay.
Don't forget in Livingston as well, Honorable Rodney Sikumba. The other announcements also that are coming in. I think you already mentioned, Rodney Sikumba. I think was it the mayor also?
No, sure. Mleba did withdraw.
Mleba also withdrawing from the race. So others describing this as a sign of maturity in politics. Others.
Let's call it spade Cheswa. The people that are withdrawing have been given information that you haven't been adopted, and so save yourself the embarrassment of announcing the people who've been adopted and you as an influential person are not there. So they decide to withdraw before the adoption list is out. That is the truth.
There's also the deputy mayor, Keti Nanyangwe, who has withdrawn and left people with so many speculations.
So people already getting intelligence information before they're adopted, and then you announce a withdrawal, but get adopted. What happens?
It's not possible. If you withdraw, then you've been told that you've been left out. That's how it works. There's no two ways in politics. Gentlemen, that's the show for tonight. Let's meet again on Wednesday on this table and see what the breaking news stories will look like.
Absolutely.
What's that?
This right here, this is for you. For him. For her. For them. For the ones on the move. And for ones who sit still. The ones up high. Oh, for the ones on holiday. This is pure. This is refreshing. This is Vatra, made for life.
Every new week deserves the right start. So start your Sunday morning with a show where faith and everyday life find a common ground.
Common Ground is a show that unpacks local and international stories that are affecting the church and how these particular issues intersect with real life and faith.
We also feature professional experts such as doctors, educators, entrepreneurs, and civic leaders discussing how faith informs decision making.
So I told them, no, God does not have forgiveness issues. God is a principled God.
I'm going to pray because I need the clarity. I need God to provide the wisdom on how I'm going to manage a particular patient.
We take time to explore scripture as well, looking at how historical context in the Bible affects our lives today.
And through practical conversations, we invite you to engage with us as we search for understanding and ultimately come up with common ground.
Catch Common Ground on Diamond TV.
The meaning of life is not to simply exist, but to move ahead, to rise up and achieve, to conquer. Introducing Kung Fu Energy Drink, your push for the next conquests. Kung Fu Energy Drink, master the power.
For years, you've been watching Diamond TV on your TV screen or on your mobile device. But now, even if the screen is away, radio has a role to play with Diamond in your ear. We've taken those hard-hitting conversations, bold opinions, and informative discussions that you love from the Diamond Media Group to One Love Radio. Listen in to our flagship show, Costa, every Sunday at 21:15 hours. Then on Fridays at 10 hours, listen in to the Zambian Vote. And if you prefer your current affairs in local language, listen in to Atubandige every Monday at 21 hours and Natulande every Wednesday at 17 hours. It's Diamond Media, not just on your screen. It's Diamond in your ear. Make a date with One Love Radio. 104.1 FM in Lusaka, 94.9 FM in Kasama, 89.1 FM in Mansa, 87.7 FM in Mongu, 91.5 FM in Siavonga, and 102.3 FM in Joma. The eye meets the ear with Diamond Media on One Love Radio.
It's easy when you do it like this.
So fresh when you do it like that.
More fun when you do it like this. But even better when you use Aloha.
Clean when you do it like this.
Looks good when you do it like that.
So much fun when you do it like this.
But even better when you use Aloha.
Cleaning with Aloha is so much fun. Using just a little, all the dirt is gone. Let's say it now.
Whatever chores life throws at you, make it fresh and fun with Aloha range of products. Aloha, make fresh fun.
Pomwetandikira masankho akulu mchaka cha 2026 tikudziwa bwino kuti mkufuna kudziwa zonse zomwe zikuchitika mdziko. Ndiye chifukwa chake wayereseka neema ya Musanza lakubweretserani tikambepo program lomwe lingo lake ndi kuonetsetsa kuti atsogoleri ayankha mafunso a anthu osiyanasiyana ofunikira kwambiri.
Pompano ni vantu decision yenaipanga vantu ndiva zakaniuza kuti koma ukasala ikana venango vamene vangapitiriza vakabwera.
Zipereka liu kwa anthu ndi kupatsa atsogoleri mpata woti amvedwe kulangula pa nkhani zofunikira kwambiri, chuma cha dziko, zaumoyo, maphunziro, kukwera mtengo kwa zinthu ndi zina zambiri. Tidzafunsanso aja anthu omwe akufuna kutsogolera dziko, kuwafunsa mafunso olimba ofunikira kwambiri moyimirira nzika za dziko lino.
Yambani mwayima pomwe mwayimika ntchito iyi tipitirize kafukufuku wokambirana sanakambe kuti imikani tibaleko mpaka chaka chikuza kuti tikapite mumasankho
Zonsezi mchilankhulo chanu tikambepo konkuno ku Musanza TV kulimbikitsa chikhalidwe ndi miyambo yathu yosiyanasiyana. Zonsezi pa Top Star Channel 93.
pleasant Sunday it is. Thank you very much for joining me on this week's edition of Praise Unlocked once again. It is good to be here. My name is George Samuel Piri. Welcome to it. Every single Sunday, we get to count down to the top biggest tracks that are making waves in the Christian industry in Zambia and beyond. And you can watch the show on DStv channel 271 and GOtv channel 20 in Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Malawi, and right here in Zambia. Welcome to it. We're so glad that you are tuned in. Follow the channel. It's Diamond TV Zambia across the board, and it's Diamond Media Zambia and Diamond TV Online on Facebook and Diamond TV Social for your Instagram. Follow me as well. Let's make some waves there. It's at George Samuel Piri so that we can get interactive. Let's quickly get into our number 10. Then we come and talk about how you can vote to be a part of this show. Here is Dr. R.A. Venon. This one basically features Timothy Reddick. It's a song called You Covered Me.
I don't have to listen for my name. They don't have to walk me down the aisle. I just wanna make you proud. Should I make the Hall of Fame, or they save a special seat? I just hope that you'll be pleased. You covered me in the midst of it all. You love me, gave me another chance. You rescued me. I was going to fall, gonna fall. You saved me. So in my life, be glorified, be glorified, be glorified. Yeah, yeah. Be glorified, be glorified. You get the glory, you get the praise, you take the honor. I just want to say, you get the glory, you get the glory, you get the praise, you get the praise. Take all of the honor, you take the honor. I just want to say, you get the glory, you get the glory. I want you to get the praise, you take the honor. I just want to say, you get the glory, Father, you get the praise. You take the honor. I just want to say, I've come back to say,
Awalamo, Ivonaya Jesus, Igualamo. Awalamo, Ivonaya Jesus, Igualamo. Awalamo, Ifunaya Jesus, Igualamo. Awalamo, Ifunaya Jesus, Igualamo. Awalamo, Ifunaya Jesus, Igualamo. I'm finished, Awalamo. There's nothing left to be. Awalamo. Ifunaya Jesus, Igualamo. Awalamo. Ifunaya Jesus, Igualamo. I'm in love. I'm in love with Jesus. I'm in love. I'm in love. I'm in love with Jesus. I'm in love. I'm in love with Jesus. I'm in love. I'm in love.
That was Pastor Lawrence Oyo with a song called I'm in Love. It reminds me of our very own Zambian rendition of Nali Mitemwa. That is a beautiful piece of music, a love song in totality. Now, here's how you can be a part of the show. All you have to do, it's very simple, right? All you have to do is vote for your top 3 songs using the number on the screen. Send in your video notes, send in your voice notes on WhatsApp, and we will be with you to post the songs that you have selected to go into the top 3. Let's now quickly get to our number 8 play of today. It's a song coming through from 2819 Worship. It's called For Christ Alone, I beg your pardon. It has been trending for the past couple of months, and they officially dropped the song a couple weeks ago. Let's take a look.
Between God and man, crucified, but raised back to life again. He's giving himself a ransom, all our sins atoned. Forever to him it all belongs. For Christ alone, we lay down our lives for this gospel until the end of time. All this is for Christ alone. Behold the Lamb, whose scars and mercies for me. Son of Man, exalted as the high King. He's giving himself a ransom, all our sins atoned. Myself speechless before His majesty. How will I express myself to Him who's more than words? What will I say? How will I say it? What do I do? Where would I start from? I just say la 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 la
That was Speechless by Dancing Oyeka and Theophilus Sunday. Recall that a couple of weeks ago, there's a song that came through from Dancing Oyeka and Theophilus Sunday, and it's been in our top 3 ever since it dropped, Baruch Hashem Adonai. We don't know if it will be in the top 3 this week, but Speechless comes in strongly at number 7. What a beautiful piece of work and a beautiful song to actually, sing and express to God, because He does leave us speechless, truly. Let's go to our number 6 now. It's a song coming through from the one and only Tio Nason, talking about being more like Jesus. It's more like Jesus.
This is the God Sound.
Maybe like Moses, don't let me strike the rock.